Hello, everyone. I keep forgetting that now this new StreamYard, they've changed everything on it. For some reason, it only comes up small, so I have to make it big. Yes, welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. A big welcome back to our friends Steve and Tina Jewell, and they are back from their travels. Now, if you want to know all about their travels, they have many videos up. They did a big live yesterday talking about their travels as well. So go on Steve and Tina Jewell's channel and then you will see where they've been and what they've been doing. I've seen a great many of their videos, but I haven't had time to see them all. And they're absolutely amazing, the videos, and definitely go and take a look there. And I'm pretty sure when you go over there, you enjoy what you see. As I always say, while you're there, if you like what you see, hit their subscribe button. I've been having a little chat with Steve on our chat here while I was waiting to start. Steve was talking about why he was demonetized for 3 months last summer. That hurt. Yep, all I can say about that is I have done one video on this channel, 2 videos on tranquility through life's natural beauty, all about my situation with advice on how you can be compensated for your situation. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually going to make one more further video as an update on tranquility because a lot of it's now happening on that channel. So that's why the first video is here to tell you what was going on here, and the others on tranquility because they're still taking down videos for no reason on that channel. And the update video I'm going to now do on that is all their ridiculous messages spouting nonsense about why I can't continue with my court proceedings. Whereas I've said many times before, all their forms and information are not anything to do with court proceedings. It may well say that. So I have now got more than enough evidence to do a proper court proceeding. And obviously, if I get monetary compensation, I won't be able to talk about that. So I want to get one more video in quickly, but do stay tuned. If you hear me talk about I've got compensation, then who knows where that compensation has come from, and I'll show you what I buy out of any compensation money I get. And I do get compensation from other sources of other situations, which I have talked about before, and I'm just very technically minded talking about these things because I know legally what I can and can't say. So I have to beat around the bush, and lots of lives, I give you tiny little snippets. If you watch them all, add them all together, you'll get the answers you're looking for. So I'm just careful not to say it all in one. But as I say, I've done videos on tranquility through life's natural beauty, of the last 2 updates of what's happening with YouTube. And as my legal advice tells me, don't let it get you down. Keep going and think in your head, the more they do, the more nonsense they tell you and send you, and the more they take down your videos with no reason and stop you doing anything about it, which they're doing on that channel, the better for me, because the worse it is in the long run for them. So as I say, there will be one more video coming up on tranquility through life's natural beauty. If you want my list of all those videos, just ask me in a comment or anything and I'll just give you the URLs. But do watch them in the order I give them to you, because I just carry on where I left off. As I say, little bits in each video, and there will be one more. I just want to update you on the latest thing, but I cannot talk court situations or anything too technical because, oh, and I will just say this, if you're offered compensation, never take it. And you're like, what? Never take the first offer or the second offer, but always take the third offer. That's all I can say. As I say, there will be one more, and there we go. But don't just sit back and roll over. They owe you. If it's been for no reason, no fault of your own, obviously if there's been a fault on your behalf, then that's a different kettle of fish. But when there's no fault, but you see what they've been sending me, what nonsense now. Oh dear. Okay, so we have two Doves, Bees and Gardens here. Good morning. We've been so busy, we've missed you. And hello to Steve and Tina Jewel. So hello to you guys. As I say, I've been wrapped up with sorting out all the legalities. Once it's over, I think I'll have a break from YouTube. I'll still do my channel, but you know, I just want a little break from sitting here. So I will catch up eventually with all you guys. So hello as well to two Doves, Bees and Gardens. And you see how I'm smiling all about it now. Smiling all about it because I have my plan. I have my plan of action and it will not fail. Okay, let's do a bit of this. I don't think I've done anything on Cyprus for a little while. I do have another episode I want to film soon of traditions and crafts and things of Cyprus, but they take a long time to make. But I have got that in my mind. The next one I want to do in that series. I think there's a playlist on that of can't remember what the playlist is called, but it's like traditional things of Cyprus, like foods and crafts and that kind of thing. Okay, so our title of today's live is Did You Know This? I have so many Did You Know This sections for you today, but particularly for Cyprus, tomorrow is a big public holiday in Cyprus. And if you don't know, any dates of Cyprus holidays always fall on the same number date, and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. So sometimes we're lucky, holidays fall on a weekday and then everything shuts and it's a workday holiday. If it falls on a weekend, the number, it's the 1st of April. So if that had been on a weekend, then of course you wouldn't get a day off of work extra, but it's still a public holiday. And as I say, if the number falls on a weekday, then all shops close, businesses close, it's mandatory. And the reason this one, tomorrow, it's Greek Cypriot National Day. You'll be like, what's that, Dawn? So I've just written it down so I get it right and don't stumble on my words, but I've written it. It's me. It's me. So, as I've said, it always is celebrated on the 1st of April, regardless of what day of the week it is. And it's EOKA Day, Oka Day, EOKA. And this is a public holiday that commemorates the start of the insurgents against the British in 1955. They tried to take over Cyprus. They're still trying to hold territories. Following the Russo-Turkish War 1877 to 1878, Cyprus was leased to the British Empire and was formally annexed by Britain at the end of the First World War. Among the Greek Cypriots, the concept of enosis, union with Greece, had been a movement that had taken hold during the previous century under the Ottoman rule. On April the 1st, 1955, the EOKA, and that's Ethniki Organos Kyprion Agroniston, their aim was unification with Greece through the armed struggle, and they started their campaign targeting British military installations on the army. Britain wanted to take over and be in charge, and Cypriots like, we have our life, we're Cypriots, this is how we live, don't come and rule us and tell us what to do and take over, basically. The campaign against the British lasted for the next 4 years. And on the 16th of August 1960, a ceasefire was reached and Cyprus attained independence after the Zurich and London Agreement between the United Kingdom, Greece and Turkey. And how do we celebrate that now? Well, as I said before, all business and shops have to be closed and people attend church services to remember the efforts of the EOKA to secure Cyprus's independence. And just before that, special events take place at schools so the children learn and are aware of the island's struggles for freedom. And a while ago, I showed you I had this book. It's by Sadie Jones and it's Small Wars. And this is basically the book about, this is true. It says it's a story, but it's true, but one of those where they've changed names, but it's factual. A soldier on the brink of a brilliant career, English soldier. Impatient to see action, his other commitments in life to his beloved wife Clara. When Howe is transferred to Cyprus, she and their twin daughters join him. But the island is in the heat of the emergency. The British are defending the colony against Cypriots, schoolboys and armed guerrillas alike, battling for union with Greece. Clara shares Howe's sense of duty and honour. She knows she must settle down and make the best things. But action changes Howe, and the atrocities he is drawn into take him not only further from Clara, but himself too, a betrayal that is only the first step down a dark path. And there was a lot of violence the British did to the Cypriots. And I'm just going to read a tiny bit here. They were waiting for the fox to strike so they could take the fight to him. They had known one or two things would happen. Pappas would either try to make a break through the lines or hope to elude them by waiting it out in one of the dozens of hides. They came upon several small, recently deserted camps and caves that had hastily abandoned, some littered with dusty kit and even weapons, so they knew they were close. It was only the officers who had this overview. Most of the men had hardly any idea what they were doing or why, or how great the prize was. Howe tried to impress upon those he spoke to, usually to tear a strip off them for gaps in the lines, that they weren't walking for hours in the glare and sharp wind for entertainment. There was a rumour that their friends had let a group of 4 EOKA slip past them. They were leading a donkey and had touched their caps. The donkey presumably had been carrying weapons. They were young soldiers falling for cheap tricks because they weren't looking sharp. Howe wasn't going to let that be his men. He worked the line tirelessly and kept the infectious Greaves up to it too when he could. All 3 battalions spent a second night under canvas in their various positions and then moved on. On the 3rd day, Howe's company were crossing the moonscape of rocky high plain. They were squinting in the glare and the wind was blowing dust up in their faces. Then, out of the wind, a splatter of shots were fired, spitting up dirt and fragments of rock from the ground around them. All of them went flat onto their bellies, trying to cover their heads. No one was hit. So, interesting, very interesting that. Let's have a check of the comments. Hey, we have Stitching Out up here. Thank you for being here. And as I said previously, if you like what you like seeing when you go and watch someone's channel, hit their subscribe button. Okay, so in honour of Steve being back on my live after his long travels, then this section is dedicated today to Steve Jewell. This is quite a good one. In the middle of the 30s, I was a member of the staff of a well-known public school. In those days, it was a custom, which I think no longer obtains, for the boys to be punished for relatively small offences by writing of a number of lines, which had to be delivered on the master's desk the next morning. In the course of a lesson, I ordered one boy to do 20 lines for talking unnecessarily. The latter part of the lesson was a written exercise, and I wandered round the classroom to see how they were all getting on. The boy to whom I had been given the 20 lines had an unusually bulging pocket. On asking him what was the cause of this, he produced a large packet of potato crisp. I had always had a great liking for these and told him if he would like to hand them over, I would dispense with the 20 lines. This he gladly did. The boys were generally much better off than the masters in those days, and probably still are for all I know. Later on, for a much more serious breach of discipline, I gave another boy in the class 100 lines. Next morning, as he entered the classroom, I said, "Boy, have you done that 100 lines I gave you yesterday?" "No, sir," he replied, "but here are 5 packets of potato crisp." Of course, I accepted them, and he's been on my conscience ever since. Quite like that one. Let's see. Everyone's saying hello to people as they're dropping in. Well, thanks, says Steve. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, let's do today's quote corner. So this is our recent quote corner for today. And that's me blabbering away because I'm thinking, what day is it? Oh, it's Monday. So it's the current quote corner for Mondays. Now I've got to scroll to Mondays. There it is. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, let's move along to this. So another Did You Know This section, and today we're going to do Nats, Hacks, Facts and Stats on dessert toppings. And the first one is, a sauce for fruit salad can be made by whipping a small carton of double cream until thick. Add 2 tablespoons, which is 40 ml of honey, before mixing with 1 tablespoon, which is 20 ml of lemon juice. So give that one a go. And the next one is whipped cream with honey instead of sugar, and that way it stays firmer for longer. The next one is spoon natural yogurt sweetened with honey over fruit pies and crumbles instead of custard or cream. And the last one today, when making custard, use moist brown sugar instead of white, and that way it gives a caramel flavour. So that will give you a different taste. So let's see. Steve's laughing. Okay, let's have a little interlude to say thank you for watching, and you are appreciated. Okay. Steve, not Steve, Stitching It Up says no dairy for you. No dairy for you. Tell you, if you're missing your dairy or you can't have dairy, with my lupus, I was told so many things I can't have. And I use that because I'm a real dessert type person. I use that spray cream, in a can. and that's not cream at all, but it tastes quite creamy, so I use that and I'm fine with that. I keep meaning to look at the tin and see what it actually is. So yeah, if you want cream but you don't want dairy, try that. I don't know what's in it. Now I need to go and see what it is. Let me play you a little interlude and I'll go and grab it out the fridge, and then I'll see what's in it. I'm back. Oh dear, I didn't make it. Oh, and now the print's so small. This sort of stuff in a can. The print's so small. Now, might have taken my magnifying glass from there. Let's get my one from here. My crafting one. Let's see. I've got to translate it as well. Let me see. Oh, right. Let me see what's in it. Keep out reach of children. Okay. Skimmed milk, vegetable oil, palm kernel, coconut, palm rapeseed, water, sugar. And you know, the further down this list things are, there's like minimal, fully hydrogenated palm kernel oil, propellant, obviously, emulsifiers, some E numbers, and they're not all bad E numbers. I know it was a thing in, was it the 90s, all E numbers were bad? No, there's a lot of bad ones, but they're not all bad. Stabilizer, natural flavouring, colouring agent, and that's it. Aerosol confectionery product based on vegetable oil and skimmed milk, 20% fat. So give it a go if you dare. Now I've got to play something else so I can put it back in the fridge. Let's applaud myself for running. That's my exercise for the day. I couldn't have done that last week. It's cream. Oh, right. Okay, hold on. Let me start at the top. If I suddenly jump, it doesn't always make sense. No dairy for me, said Stitch It Up. Steve says I'm trying to cut down on dairy as well. Stitch It Up says interesting. Yeah, I have no effects from it at all. And I do have quite a lot of it. I have waffles for breakfast with cherry jam and that all over it, spread cream. Sometimes I'll have a brandy coffee. And that, of course, has to have the cream on top. So I do have quite a lot of it, and no effect at all. Stitching says I have lots of food allergies. Steve says better not to know. Oh, that was me saying I need to go and see what's in it. I was curious. Steve says what's in the spray can. That was the cream, yeah. Stitching says it's cream. Yeah. But give it a go if you feel you want cream and you feel you can't have cream. I recommend it. It makes me happy. It does taste of cream, I think. But as I say, no effects from it at all. So I'm going to keep going with that for now, for sure. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okie doke. So, what to watch on your coffee break? Let's start today, first of all, with on the ticker tape. I'm pointing with my mouse, you can't see. Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, my other channel. There's still some videos up. Amazing. Amazing. There's a lot gone. It's a lot gone. So what's been posted there? We are on the 1st of April. So next we have, I scheduled it today. I have another video coming up on there on Friday scheduled, and it's another one of my funny signs. If you like funny signs, I do different ones on my community post on this channel. So a random funny one here and there. And there's quite a few. Oh, and also on my community post on this channel, I've put up today, it's the beginning of the month, tomorrow. So there's a new recipient of my free seeds. So if you want the free seeds and you're there, if you want free seeds and you haven't had that message yet, just tell me you'd be interested in having the free seeds. Then watch my community post every month. You'll see a picture holding seeds, and then it says who's been selected that month. So yes, we have a whole video of funny signs coming up on Friday on Tranquility channel. And then the last one I posted was another episode of my grandma's autobiography read by me. And it was episode 19. If you're interested in that, go to the playlist on that channel and start with the very first one, which, as you know, would be the very bottom one of that playlist. And just before that, we had another Frugal Living, Make Do and Mend episode. So that's what's been coming up on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. It tells me I'm only getting 4 viewers per video at the moment. I told you they're playing with it. They're trying to make me feel sad. Stitching It Up said, obviously, you can't watch everything of everybody. What channel would you like me to promote and watch? And I've actually said, where's that one? I do need that. I'm not bothered if they're going to take videos down, because that means all those views have gone as well. So I've said this channel, because this one is my only monetized channel. Do you like my tail? He's been in a funny mood today, Mr. Colin Waffles. He just wants cuddles. Yeah, there he is. We had Kit on, was it Friday? I think Kit came on Friday on my other channels live. There he is. And I put a short up with him a couple of days ago, and he's got 3.7k views. Dawn gets not so many. Stick a cat in, a dog in, you're laughing. Stick a cat or dog in and you're absolutely laughing. Let me see. Dreamland Soundscapes is in. Guys, do go and check out Dreamland Soundscapes, which is Stitching It Up. And Steve's saying hello Kitty, Mr. Waffles, Mr. Colin Waffles. And there is a video why he has such a crazy name. There's a whole video on it. Yes, people love animal videos, they certainly do. You could put a really beautiful video up that you work for ages on and whatever else, and then I put a goat video up. I just stand at my fence, film the goats, and Did I see you had some more visitors, this Two Doves? If you're talking to me, yes, I had some more workawayers. They've gone now. When did they go? I'm on April calendar date now, so I can't remember. But we had them not very long ago. It was a couple from Hungary, and these are from the Workaway volunteering program. It's worldwide. Any of you can have them come. It's free to join if you're a host. You just have to offer them food, a shower, and you don't even have to offer them food. A bed, shower, toilet. They can use yours if you're happy for that. You have to provide them somewhere to cook, not food, unless you ask them to work more than 3 hours a day, and that's only work days, not weekends. They don't help weekends. So you can have them for doing your housework. You can have them if you need your windows cleaning. You can't manage that anymore. You can have them doing anything that isn't a paid job. So you couldn't have them come and work in your restaurant, or if you grow food for a restaurant, you couldn't have them harvesting that food, that kind of thing. So it's completely free. You can control it as much as you like. You can have people when you want. If you don't want them, you don't have to have them. People just apply and you say yes or no. What are you doing? What are you doing exactly? Are you biting my glasses? Don't. He's got my glasses in his mouth. What are you doing, weirdo? Oh dear. So yeah, they were from the Workaway program, volunteering program, and the husband, you're seeing one of the videos when I introduced them. He actually has a vineyard in Hungary, and he bought us a bottle of his own wine. So we actually had that yesterday. It's what is it? Riesling. So it's that. It's that. People love animal videos. Oh, I read that. Did you see to have visitors? Yes, so that was who we had. We've still been debating about doing Airbnb again. Now, Steve does Airbnb. If you go on Steve and Tina Jules' channel, I think it's under every video. The very first thing in the description is the Airbnb link. So if you're interested in Canada, going to Canada, do go and click on there. At least you know who the hosts are and that the place is going to be great. It's worth a look if you know anyone that'd be interested. We were debating, we used to do Airbnb here, but they changed the rules of it. Now you have to pay in advance of having people, like the tax or whatever. This is all countries. You have to pay the tax in advance. I think it was 200 and something. And we're like, we don't have that money. And we don't charge very much. It's not one of these expensive rentals. So we'd have to do it full time and charge more just to get the money back. So we're like, no, we would rather use our accommodation for friends and visitors and for workaways. Okay, we get no money out of having a workaway, but we get stuff done that we can't manage anymore. So it's brilliant. So we're going to stick with that. So if any of you guys want to come over, give us advance notice, because we may have workaways booked in otherwise. Steve says lots of cats in Stone Town, Zanzibar, so made a cat video. Yes, guys, do go and check it out if you haven't seen it. I want to go and watch your live on Sunday, Steve, because you said in the title you were going to talk about your trip, and I'll be interested in hearing you talk about it. So at some point I will go and watch that one. I don't watch YouTube at weekends. Dreamland says, I saw the cat video. Steve says, thanks. Kitty wants attention. He's been funny today, but biting my glasses is not wanting to get attention. When I work with children, you learn if they're naughty, ignore them, don't speak. If they're good, talk to them and pay them attention. Two Doves, that's a great program. It is, it's fantastic. Weirdo, yes. He is a weirdo. Dreamland says, I haven't been to Canada, but visited Niagara Falls. Steve says, we're being shut down. What, your Airbnb? Ah, yes, government wants to close down Airbnb in selected towns. Yes, I've heard about this. We said there should be different categories. There should be different categories. So if you're like us, originally we just rented a bedroom in our actual house. If you're doing that, that's what Airbnb originally was. It was called rent a sofa. Rent a sofa. And you could literally, if you were a traveller, you could go from house to house and sleep on the sofa. That's how it started, if you don't know. We're saying there should be different categories. Those that clearly are wanting that experience versus people that have got multiple properties sometimes in multiple countries as a big business, renting them all out. So I think there should be different categories of what you pay to do it. But talking about these new changes, I don't know if any of you know, I know some of you watching are English people, no matter where we live. But a lot of English people, for example, move to, for example, France. A lot of them move to France, Spain, Portugal. They're the main places English people move to relocate or have a second home. But a lot of them move to, let's use France as an example, they'd buy old farmhouses because they're dirt cheap, because they're all run down, and they'd look for old barns and things they could make into sheets. And a typical thing was buy a property with loads of outbuildings, and then you can convert all the outbuildings slowly into different sheets, holiday homes. Well, the French have now just changed their laws. It all wrapped up with this Airbnb, but not specifically talking about Airbnb. Any rental form you have, if it's attached to your house, so if it's either a room in your house or a converted garage, let's say, that's attached to your house, that's fine. If it's a separate building, not attached to the house, you cannot rent it out as a rental accommodation. Ooh, so all those who've been doing that for years, renovating them, changed them into properties in France, and normally other countries start to follow suit. But in France, if you have outbuildings, whether they already were a separate building or granny annex, whether you've converted them or they already were another property, you cannot rent them out. Ooh. Yeah, so Steve says we're being shut down. Government want to close down Airbnb in selected towns. Dreamland says, oh no, wow, government control. Nice emoji, Dreamland. Steve says we can only do bed and breakfast if you live in the house. I think this is where the problem is, but it's affected people like us that were very genuine. We've got a restaurant on site, or we cook for you. We say you have to have a car because we're so remote. You can't walk anywhere for services, shops, restaurants, anything. So to stay with us, you were having a true experience. It wasn't just a highly done up property, like modernised, and you had to go out and about. So you would go and pay at restaurants to eat, go and buy things in the local supermarkets. But so many of them were turned into people would do cooking for them and have a swimming pool and do another outbuilding with games room and all that. Basically, like an all-inclusive. And this is the trouble. All-inclusives are the ones that are taking you away from going out and about and giving to the country's economy. So again, I think there should be different categories. So if you can prove, like Steve's just said, it's only bed and breakfast, or you don't have anything nearby, so they have to go out and about, you're not offering anything other than, like Steve says, bed and breakfast. I think that's the way it should be. I really do. Two doves is just another brick in the wall. Yes. So again, it's never this and you all have to do it. It's just the way the world is not fair. It's not fair. So we're doing it now, as I say, just for volunteers to come and have that same experience. And I wonder now, will a lot of people, instead of going on holiday, will they now join volunteering, which, as I say, for us, Monday to Friday, they help for 3 hours. We don't cook for them. They now go out, they give money to restaurants or the supermarket, whatever they want to do. They go and visit places because 3 hours, particularly in the summer, they've got to get up early to do the work before it's too hot. So they literally, it's up to them what time they start. I warn them in the summer if they want to get up late. it's going to be too hot to work, but it's up to them to decide. They do their 3 hours. Let's say they start 8 o'clock. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11. They finish by 11. They can get showered, change, go out, whether it's to the beach or go out for lunch or go. So they've literally got at least half a day and the whole evening out. What have they paid to come? I think they pay a small charge as a volunteer to join Workaway Experience. Hosts don't pay anything, but I think the volunteers pay a small amount because it's a portal, if you like, for them to find places. They've got to pay for their flights if they're coming into Cyprus. They've got no accommodation cost. They've got food and drink they've got to pay for, but then on holiday you pay for that anyway. And with us, they've got to pay for a car. Hey, most people have car hire. Remember, there's no public transport near us at all. There's no trains. There are minimal buses from main towns, but you won't be able to go and see little tiny villages or anything like that. So obviously their travel insurance and everything else, they pay for a holiday. So it is a very cheap holiday. And as I say, as a host, you're specific as to what sort of property. You're not allowed to advertise the room because they say it's not about people coming to see who's got the best room. It's about the type of property you have, as in it's a farm, it's a domestic house or whatever it is, and what sort of help you require. So if any of you want a cheap holiday and you're happy to do a bit of something, get into discussion with the host, offer to do, say, I'm good at this, or I'm happy to weed, or I'm happy to clean your windows, whatever it is you feel happy doing, and that's it. Dreamland sounds like a good program. Yes, there is another similar one called WWOOF, WWOOF. I think it's got one F because some letters are twice and some are one. Now that I heard about first, and I tried to join that as a host, until I said, for my own reasons, I couldn't offer food because it says in that one, you must offer them meals. And at that point, we had no money at all. And I said, we can barely afford to feed ourselves. I don't want to buy food in, then they don't eat it. That's waste. That's like my money. And if people got all these different health requirements, I can't be bothered to make different for different. So they wrote back and they said, well, just tick the box that says you agree to feed them because you can only provide food with WWOOF. You can't not. Just tick the box, and then when people turn up, say you can't actually feed them and tell them why. I said, I'm not doing that. So I don't trust WWOOF. And WWOOF is only homesteads, farms, that kind of thing. It's not other types of help. So it's wouldn't touch that, but it was only through that then Workaway popped up on my searches, so I looked into that, and they're great. They're fantastic. They're really helpful if say someone says they're coming and they don't come, they'll block them from the site, so they're really helpful. Steve says long-term rentals, but the long-term renters are overly protected. If they're trouble, it takes thousands of dollars a month to evict. Yeah, it's very much like America then. I know they have a lot of trouble. They had like, I don't want to say Airbnb, but one of those sort of platforms, and people were renting and they couldn't get them out the house, and there's all sorts of horror stories. Yes, and Steve said, well, they can trash your house and not pay rent. Yeah. We want to sell our property in Ziggy. We talked about it when we had no money, but we were told to hang on to it because prices were going way up. But we really need to get on with that in the next few weeks, really. I do have a video on it. If any of you know someone who wants to buy a property in Cyprus, I will send you the video of it when we filmed it before, because I put the video up because we were going to sell it then. We did have buyers, but then, as I say, one of the issues was someone said, can you film it live? As in they wanted to confirm that everything was as I showed you on the pictures in the video. And I said that was difficult because there's people living in there. So you can't say, right, we're filming inside. So that was a bit bizarre. But we are going to sell it. We will be selling it very cheap. It's 2 double bedrooms. It's got its own courtyard garden with a lemon tree and a mandarin tree. It's right by the sea. I mean, right by the sea. It's a few steps away from the sea. The sea's here and the property's just up here, about 4 properties up. I think it's 4 properties up. It's a restaurant on the corner, but that's closed now. And lovely beach there, little cafe on the beach, loads of bakeries, a few steps everywhere. You've got hairdressers, I think, still there, bakeries, post office. There must be a pharmacy there. I think there's a pharmacy, news agent, kebab shop, loads of restaurants there. We haven't set a price, but it will be cheap. And we've told the people renting it now, it's just silly to rent it when we can take that money and use it for us. I mean, we're both getting older now. What we rent it for? And the lady there did say she wanted to move to something bigger because she's got a teenage boy and girl. And obviously her and her husband, he's left her now, but her and the husband were in 1 bedroom. And she didn't want the teenage boy and the girl in 1 bedroom. So we said, well, you said you wanted to move, then you've got time now to find somewhere. Bye-bye. But she won't find something bigger. Well, she wouldn't even find something smaller for the amount of rent we were charging. But it's too far away to do as a holiday home, and we won't want to do that anyway. So Stitch It Up says, hit the thumbs up for Dawn. Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, so if anyone, it's a little fishing village, it's beautiful. The only reason I came, Mike bought that out of his selling his property in England, and then the only reason we didn't live there, I came out and stayed there while this property was going through. I just said I wanted a bit more garden. Got over 6,000 square meters here, so yeah. That's the only reason we don't live there. But yeah, if anyone's interested, do let me know and I'll send you the URL of the video of it. I might actually put it up again. So that's not one of my videos that's gone. But yeah. Okay, so let's continue with what we were doing. So let's talk about what's been posted on this channel. We have one coming up on Friday. I've just, scheduled it. And that is lizards and geckos in my garden. So if you want to see all the different types of lizards and geckos, I've done separate ones on chameleons. They're my favourite to find. And on Wednesday, you will have a video that has got one of my viewers' questions they asked me in the comments. I'm not saying who you are, but if you've asked me a question in the comment, I've actually shown you the answer in the video. So it's a viewer's question plus what's been planted in my garden. And if any of you ask me questions, if I don't answer them, I might now be saving them to put them in a video. And I'm not going to say to you when your question is answered, you just go watch the videos and it will be a great channel shout out for you. Obviously in the video, I will shout out your channel. So if I don't answer straight away a question, even if it's a funny question, because I have just posted, if any of you watched it, the funny Q&A, learn more about me. So I love doing those. I want to film another Q&A. So any sorts of questions. And then today I posted, 31st of March, I posted Dawn Walks at Dawn. Do you like that? Dawn Walks at Dawn, where I came across a bird box, a nesting box. And that's part 1. So there will be a part 2 of Dawn Walks at Dawn. He's so clever. Stitch Up says lizards. Yeah, we have these great big long fat things. They look like dinosaurs. They're not the ones with the tall legs. They're on the ground. And then we have lots of little geckos and lizards as well. Stitch Up says we have lots of frogs. Oh, we have frogs and toads. Do you get those tree frogs? We have those, and at night they all start singing. They'll start singing at night. Well, that's a huge lizard, yes. I've actually put one of the big ones on the thumbnail, so you'll see it when it comes up. Looks like a dinosaur. I like those ones. They're not dangerous or anything. They run away. They're mostly, you see them up walls near the workshop. They seem to be. So, yeah, there's some footage of those. Okay, let's do this. So talking of bird boxes, it's another video I've just been editing where you'll see another bird box next door. You will see that. So I thought we'd carry on with my bird book. Stitch Up says we fix part of the frog problem because it attracts snakes. There is that, but they eat the slugs, so I'm quite happy with them. I prefer them. Okay, we will talk about dawn walks at dawn, and the section today on birds is dawn chorus. Faces. I love emojis. And Susan, if you're watching, Susan comments on all my videos and shorts. Bless her. You're so sweet, Susan. And she always puts emojis. So if my short is so many goats, she like emoji loads of goats. I love her. She's so sweet. And then the other day, YouTube informed me that she's a bot. I told her she's a bot because she can only do emojis. So her next message was from your bot. From your bot. Okay, so dawn chorus. Morning sound, a song thrush leads the dawn chorus. At no time is the chorus of song so intense as at dawn, when the first notes ring out in the dark world. It's actually as sun rises. As it becomes light, there's a crescendo of sound with different species joining in, and the full dawn chorus la, 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 continues for about half an hour. Why birds should choose to sing at dawn has long been a mystery. Yeah, they're always in my ear singing. It would seem that after the long night's fast, their priority should be eating a large breakfast. Several answers have been suggested. One is that, contrary to expectation, a full stomach is not a good idea for small birds because the increased weight makes flying more strenuous. Therefore, the birds delay feeding and fill the time with singing, obviously. Another idea is that it's difficult to find food in the dark, and insect prey is sluggish and thus difficult to spot in the early morning chill. In both cases, it may also be useful right at the start of the day to remind neighbours not to trespass. Yes, it's to not let other birds come and land in their nest. But as with birdsong itself, there's probably no single explanation of the dawn chorus. I've said this before at school. If we sung any song or hymn and it had the word dawn in it, when it got to it, everyone would go, they'd sing and they'd go, dawn. And they would look at me. Oh dear. Call notes, as in C-A-L-L, not C-O-O-L. Call notes. As well as their songs, bird makes use of a number of calls that cover a variety of meanings. The great tit, for example, has over a dozen different calls for particular contexts. Calls are used to make are used to coordinate the behaviour of birds by telling one another of their intentions or feelings. The simplest communication is to broadcast one's position to other birds with contact notes. Shrill notes accompany a small flock of tits as they make their way along a hedge or fly between trees. These notes keep the members of the flock together while they're searching for insects, often out of each other's sight. When a cat tries to sneak up on the bird table, its attempt to get within striking distance is frustrated by alarm calls, simple, harsh chat notes from a vigilant bird. Birds of all species recognise this sound and, as soon as the call is uttered, fly up to the safety of the trees. The call is also used for mobbing owls. When an owl is discovered on its daytime perch, birds gather around it to scold it. Their cries alert other birds which are drawn to the scene, and the owl often has to abandon its perch for a quieter site. By drawing attention to a cat or an owl, the birds destroy its chances of making a catch. A different tactic is pursued against birds of prey. When a hawk is spotted, the birds withdraw into foliage and utter thin see calls that warn other birds of the danger overhead. Unlike calls made in response to the cat or owl, the hawk alarm is ventriloquial and hard to pinpoint, so the birds sounding the call do not give away their positions. So I hope you enjoyed that. Steve says, got to go, have a shower and dressed. I always find that hilarious because now it is 6:30 p.m, but I forget you guys are just getting up and getting going. Dreamland says, Nightbot times out people in my lives for using emojis. I don't like Nightbot. It's rude. It's very rude. Very rude, that Nightbot. Yes, talking about birds, on Friday on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, I'm doing a live Learn Something New Today, and I got some more real fun facts. And one, for example, that I'm doing is what a group of flamingos are called. See if any of you know the real name for a flock of flamingos. It's not a flock. It's not a flock. So see if any of you know what that is. See if you can figure it out. It's got to be its true name for a flock of flamingos. So if you want more fun facts, then do come on. Oh, I've got hiccups now. Do come on my Friday live, which is a different time to this one. You'll have to look on the thumbnail. Can I tell you? Yes, I can tell you what time it's on. For some of you, it's way too early or too late, whichever end of the spectrum you are. Let me see. Tranquility is lunchtime, 12 o'clock for the UK, 8:30 p.m. Australia, 4 a.m. PST, Central is 6 a.m. and EST 7 a.m. It's not bad if you're EST then. So I did that one a different time for my Aussie friends. Stitch It Up says 10:30 a.m. here. Oh, it's decent time for you, really. Quite decent time. Yes, Stitching It Up has got loads of zoo videos at the moment. I just watched your squirrel one. It started with the squirrel. I've just watched that before this live. Flamingos, I should know, as often I go to the zoo. I do like that zoo. There is a big zoo here. I've never been. There's another little one I've talked about before in Limassol. It's not a zoo anymore, but if you go into the park, you can see where, when I first came here, it was still a lot of animals, and you can still kind of see, that was there, and that was there, and that was there. A little bit like when I was a child, I went to Chessington Zoo in Surrey, in England, and it's now like what they call it now, World of Adventures. It's more rides and that. But if you wander around, you can still, that was there and this was there. I like discovering things like that. Okie doke, I'm going to finish there for today. Look, I'm getting back to normal. I've done my hour today. I haven't done an hour for a long time. But I'm getting there now. I'm hoping to do some gardening tomorrow. Ooh, gardening. Today's an office day, so I've been editing and keep forgetting the word for it. Putting a video out, like, what do you call it? I keep forgetting the word for it. Scheduling. I'm scheduling the week's videos today. Scheduling. Why can't I remember scheduling? Okay, thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate it. It's lovely when you have time to drop in on the live rather than me just chattering to myself. So thank you for being here and see you all soon. And what I say at the end does not mean goodbye. Until next time, Meraki.